Welcome to No Labels, No Walls, Action Monday. And we've got a great presentation today by the Justice Arts Coalition, but within our tradition, we're going to go around and just see who's here. So why don't we begin? I'm going to temporarily ignore the core presenters, but Murray, are you here? Your name, running off. Lila, say hi. Where are you coming from? Have to mute, unmute.
Can you close the window, please?
Yeah. Can you unmute, Lila?
Layla. Yes.
Yeah.
Layla.
Okay,
yeah. I'm calling. Hello, I'm Layla, and I'm calling from Dover in Kent.
Excellent. Welcome. So from Kent, why don't we bounce to Connecticut? How are you doing, Kevin?
Hello, it's Kevin calling from Connecticut. I'm excited to be here. Hope everyone's doing well. I hope everyone had a fantastic weekend.
And if we can go from Connecticut, Keith, we're doing a season K's here, and here it was a spectacular weekend. I hope you guys didn't get rained out.
No, we didn't get rained out. No, it was all right. It wasn't spectacular, but it was okay. Hello everyone. I'm Keith from sitting here in Glasgow in Scotland. I've had a busy weekend because we were doing a music event as part of Learning Disability Week here in Scotland. So still a little bit tired after that, actually, because that was Saturday night. So, but welcome.
Excellent. Well, music is an obvious lead to you, Riku. One music to another musician.
Yes, and I am from Helsinki, and I would like to quick top 3 Eurovision Song Contest, and my number 1 goes to Tuse from Sweden, Voices, and number 2 goes for Rafa and the Ride from Poland, and number 3 is Dark Side from that's Finland, and Blind Channel. Yes.
Okay, excellent. How about you, Naomi? Can you bring us up to date where you're at?
Hello, I'm from Midway, Kent.
Okay, you doing well?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, we hope things get better after this call. No labels, no walls. Got to be good news. Is it Lassie? I may not have the pronunciation. Lasse?
Yeah, hi. I'm Lasse from Helsinki, Finland.
And all well with you? Oh God, it's better.
Yeah, everything is good here.
Okay. And Mary, where are you calling in from?
Yes, hi, I'm Mary. I'm calling from Los Angeles.
And Michael, hello.
Hi,
yes.
We are doing good. We are in the same space, so.
Okay. And Tui.
Hello, Jack. Good to see you again.
Yes.
Hello, everyone. So my name is Tui. I'm calling in from Rosemead, Los Angeles, California, United States. And so I'm happy to see everybody here. And yeah, thank you for having me.
Okay. How about Silent Suki? Where are you coming in from? Whoop. That's meant. Oh, okay. I'm sorry, I mispronounced your name before. Niley? Is that
Hi,
correct?
it's Neasley.
Neasley. My
Yes.
apologies. I knew it was wrong, but
No worries. I'm Neasley. I am in Los Angeles. It is very gray day here. Rained all day yesterday. Shouldn't complain. We need the rain. And the good thing about the rain is it forces me to stay indoors and get the work done.
all right. Okay. And I see Tim Vogt.
Hey everybody, in Bellevue, Kentucky. It's raining here too, which is great because we planted a ton of flowers in our community garden and potato starts and corn and everything yesterday. So they're getting a good drink.
All right. James Locke.
Hello.
And well, do you want to say more now, or you're going to do your pitch a little later, James?
I'm happy to speak now if that's all right, Jack. Yeah.
Well, why don't I just do a flyby on Ava and Wendy and Maya, who are the team from Justice Arts Coalition, just so they say hi, and then you're on. How's that?
I'll jump in. My name is Wendy. I'm the founder and director of Justice Arts Coalition, and I am based outside of Washington, D.C. in Silver Spring, Maryland. It's nice to see you all. Thank you for joining us today.
Hello, I'm Ava. I'm an intern with the Justice Arts Coalition since last August. I'm currently in the Baltimore airport heading to Denver, but I'm very happy to be here, and I'm excited for you all to see the work of Jack.
I'm Maya. I'm one of the interns. I've been an intern since January. I'm currently in Silver Spring, Maryland, which is right outside of DC. And I'm also super excited to see so many new faces, a few familiar faces, and look forward to having our first international ArtLinks.
And I think we've had a new person, Godex. You want to introduce yourself?
Hi, sorry. I am Godex Imani. Godex is my spiritual name. I am from North Carolina, and I was just invited here about 5 minutes ago. So yeah.
Well, welcome
Hi,
aboard.
everyone. Nice to meet you. Thank
Welcome.
you.
Welcome aboard, Linda Kahn.
Everyone, sorry to join a little bit late. I'm calling in from Toronto. Really glad to be here.
Okay. Linda was going to be the host today, but got double booked as life happens. So we're just going to roll right on. And James, you're up. We're going to get a little push here on the Festival of Debate.
You are indeed. Yeah. Thanks, Jack. Appreciate it. Hi, everyone. Good to be here. My name's James Locke. I'm in Sheffield, in sunny Sheffield. Very rare treat for Sheffield at the moment. And we're coordinating something called the Festival of Debate, which is a lot of events all around different ideas and solutions and problems that we can all collectively make a difference on and all collectively understand how they shape our world. And it's great to be able to include No Labels, No Walls, Action Mondays in the Festival of Debate this year. I've been working with Marcus on that. And the Festival of Debate is also part of something called Citizen Fest, which is a group of different festivals across the world who are all putting citizens at their heart and trying to bring together people to discuss the things that matter to them. And this is absolutely one of those events, and it's just a real pleasure to be here. I'll put the Festival of Debate website in the chat so you can all check it out if you want to. All the events are free, so anyone can come from anywhere in the world, and they're all online. So it'd be lovely to see you all there. Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay. And now we have the delight of a team of 3 from Justice Arts Coalition. and they have a story to tell. Who's up? Wendy? Maya?
Gonna hand it to Maya.
Okay.
So I do have a little bit of a statement from our organization to read to give you guys a bit of an idea of what we do. Through the sharing of stories and resources, and by using the arts as a bridge between people inside and outside of prison, the Justice Arts Coalition, also known as JAC, unites teaching artists, art advocates, and currently and formerly incarcerated artists and allies, harnessing the transformative power of the arts to reimagine justice. This work stems from the premise that art can serve as a connective tissue, weaving its way back and forth through prison walls to foster and strengthen relationships between people inside and out. Art can remind us of our shared humanity, and that everyone has unique gifts and a unique story to share. To create a work of art, a song, a dance, or a poem within the barren confines of prison is truly a courageous and liberatory act, a reclaiming of identity, of possibility, of worth, a demand to be visible. Jack affirms and uplifts those who venture onto this path towards internal freedom, while amplifying their voices so that more and more people outside will feel compelled to fight for their physical freedom. Jack serves as a unifying body for those engaged in art making in and around carceral institutions across the US. We provide numerous opportunities for the nearly 300 incarcerated artists in our growing network to share their work both through our own platform and by facilitating connections to opportunities offered by partner organizations such as Iron City Magazine, PEN America's Prison Writing Program, and the MoMA PS1. Jack hosts exhibitions, online galleries, and ArtLinks events, which community members view new works by incarcerated artists and write letters to the artist, sharing their reflections and feedback on the work. Jack also hosts an art-focused correspondence program, the Partner Project, through which incarcerated artists are paired with artists on the outside to exchange letters, creative works, sources of inspiration, and words of support and encouragement. We should link somewhere in the chat at some point more information on the Partner Program if you'd like to possibly sign up. Jack supports teaching artists and art organizations that provide programs in prison by serving as a hub for resources, community building, and collective problem solving. This aspect of our work has been of particular importance during COVID-19, as all programming in prisons came to a halt with the start of the nationwide lockdown. Arts program facilitators are in dire need of spaces in which they can join together to support each other and find ways of overcoming the obstacles preventing them from fulfilling their missions. Jack's network also includes numerous family members and loved ones of incarcerated artists, as well as formerly incarcerated artists, many of whom connected with Jack while still inside. We should also link at some point in the chat information on how to volunteer with us, our socials, if you'd like to follow up with us and see more of the art that we are going to feature. If you want to check out our website, you can also view some of the portfolios of artists within our network and find out ways to get more involved. Today, we will be having an ArtLinks, which involves going through a gallery of some of the art from our network artists and writing letters back to them. One of my favorite parts of Jack and ArtLinks is being able to engage in conversation about our work with the artists. And so I encourage you while we look through the art to write down any reflections, initial thoughts, anything that you might want to include in a letter to the artist. Jump right into it. Or if anyone has any questions right now, feel free to ask them. There will also be time after we go through the slideshow if you want to share thoughts or feelings or have general Jack questions. And I'm going to quickly share my screen. So as we go through the art, for some of the pieces, we do have either statements or descriptions that go along with the art piece, which I will be reading. On the screen right now is an untitled piece by Chris Trigg. His statement is, "I am an artist. There is a power in that statement. I spent 20 years in solitary confinement, 16 of it in the federal supermax called the ADX. He also includes an additional statement from one of his blogs. If you're interested in reading more of his work, he has submitted a few written entries to us. You can find it in his portfolio, which I believe is linked on the piece. All of the artist portfolios can be found in the like info section of all of these images. So if it takes 10,000 hours to master something, then I am a master pastelist. I accumulated those hours and more wedged between a concrete stool and a steel toilet under the two. I spent years there becoming good at something good, becoming more than I was in a place built to make me less. I left ADX in 2018. I have 4 years left on my sentence. I am an artist. I am experimenting with oils, listening to use a medium I have never had access to before. I hope my experience will translate into success in the future and that I can use what I have been through in activism." This is the indictment by Greg Bolden. Inspired by the Latin proverb, "Gutta cavat lapidem," translates into English as "dripping water hollows out stone, not by force, but through constant dripping. I'll keep dripping into that hollow space to freedom." This is "Surprise We're Here" by William Brown. As my life went on, I learned to use my portraits and figure drawings to express my own emotions. I'd use it to deal with the life that was thrust upon me. With no real friends growing up, the art classes I took in high school became my home away from home. My art teacher, my only friend, helped me learn to translate what I felt into something visual. And these times were the happiest I remember growing up. I was able to escape into the creative pieces and show the world how I felt and saw things around me. So this is a piece by Luther Garner called "Travel." I invite you to read it on your own. And at the end of ArtLinks, we will link the album so you guys can revisit some of the art featured if you feel like you didn't have enough time to dwell on it, or if you'd like to go through the art at your own pace. So no worries if you didn't have the chance to really linger on this piece as much as you would have liked. And this is Regal by Corey Sitzler. My name is Corey Sitzler, and I drew a Bengal tiger. I drew him because of his regal and majestic beauty. I've never drawn something so difficult before, but I love a challenge. I did my best and hope this drawing, done in ink, pencil, and colored pencil, brings you and others joy. This is an untitled piece by Jesse Cruz. This is another untitled piece by Jesse Cruz. This is My Hijab is Beautiful by Robert A. Odom. And this is All Eyes on Me 2.0, also by Robert A. Odom. And this is Mother Nature Attacked by Negative Beliefs by Derry Brown. And this is COVID Day of the Dead by Brian Hinson. I did a few Day of the Dead face paintings. Using the paints and the materials was a real challenge, and I believe that through the struggles, I've become a better painter. I don't have any particular fondness of the subject matter, but I do enjoy the patterns on the face, which I make up myself. This is an untitled piece by Billy Van Court. I am a painter. Main medium is acrylics. I enjoy painting wildlife, fantasy, still lifes. My love of nature and the pleasure I find in creating something that I hope others will enjoy seeing inspires me. For the most part, I am self-taught, except for reading art books. My art has taught me patience, a love of color and beauty. This is Street Musicians NOLA by Connor Broderick. At this point, I understand that art can be used as a tool, both in and outside of prison. A tool that gives people a place to go when they are angry or happy, feeling lonely, or just when they want to be alone. Some of my fellow inmates are not good at expressing themselves, yet they can now through a brush or pencil. That is important. Important because the conversations that are taking place outside in the free world about prison and the people that live within need to have representation of the humanity that struggles on the inside. Artwork sparks those conversations. This is Flight, again by Connor Broderick. So for me, art is much more about the visual combination of various styles. It is more than any technical style, composition, or subject. It is about impact and what is communicated through connections made with the viewer. The butterfly effect is real, and I would like to think that I have been caught up in its winds, thanks to the creative people that have influenced my life before and both during my prison sentence. Maybe my work can inspire something great in someone else. If that is the case, I feel that I am doing my part to make a better community that I will be released back into. Here is a study in solidity by Tomas. I have found that prison invites a certain amount of introspection and a need to express the results. For me, art is a way to accomplish both. It seems that I shaped my life around a distorted reality that I perceived in media at a young age. Today, I use the same media to explore my previous misunderstandings by appropriating it for artistic purposes. Primarily, I use images from fashion magazines, a common commodity and focus of much attention in a men's federal prison. I recompose these images, adding new context to them that expresses my own sense of isolation, frustration, add societal impotence, as well as my growing understanding of previous wrongs. I do this while also questioning the magazine's original context of economics, art, and sexuality. The resulting work, including its title, is always autobiographical and represents a terrible beauty found in both past actions and lessons learned. Here's a poem called My Soul by Jennifer Diaz. Again, I invite you to read this on your own and note the visual components. Here is an untitled piece by Yuri Kadamov. It's from his series called We as a Society. I included his bio in the comments if you'd like to read more about him. His personal website / portfolio is also linked. Here's another untitled piece from the same series. Here's a poem called Ode to Pandemic by Gary Farlow. We have little value, no voice, no rights. So art is a creative process by which I say I am here. I am a human being, I exist. Here is Locked Up, again by Gary Farlow. And we've now reached the end of the pieces that we have collected to share with you. Now comes the interactive part where we encourage you to write letters to the artists. More often than not, they'll respond to you. I think that this is a really unique opportunity to, be able to talk about the art with the artists. And if you're interested, talk about, their experiences as incarcerated artists. When you write letters, we'd like for you to use blue or black ink on 5 pages maximum. We ask that you handwrite the letters because it's more personal. Once you have your letter, or you can even respond with an art piece if that's something that you would like to do or you feel inspired to do so. We then ask that you just take a picture of either your letter, your art piece, or all of the above and upload it onto the album that should be linked in the chat. You could also email it to the email listed below. We try to send out these letters about a week from the event, but if any delays come up in your life, again, you can email the email listed, Ava at the Justice Arts Coalition, and we can work something out so we can get as many letters to the featured artists as possible. We also have a few testimonials from some of the artists who have received feedback from these events. Making conversations about art more accessible is truly part of the transformative power of bringing arts into prison and recognizing the artistic identities of many of the creatives within our network. I also invite you guys to use this time right now to ask any questions that you might have about us, any of the artists featured, mailing process. You know, we really do like to invite people to have a collective discussion about a lot of the art that we've shown and some of the topics covered. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen and invite you guys to have a group, or just invite all of us to have a group discussion.
Yes. Mary Pakarinen has some of my works, and I just like to ask if she could show some. Would that be possible, Mary?
Yes, just give me 1 or 2 minutes. It's in my computer, so I'll find it. But
thank you.
at the moment, yeah.
Were there any pieces that particularly stood out to any of you? Do you have questions about what kind of resources we provide to artists or teaching artists within our network? If you'd like to learn more about any of the individual artists that we showed, within the comments and info section of each image, there should be a link to their portfolio, but I'm also happy to use right now to you know, try to answer any questions.
I have a question actually. The work that you guys do, so how do you identify the artists? Do they sign up? Do you teach them from scratch? Or are these like people who were already artists, sort of like who found their artistic voices and then come to you? How does that work?
Well, we don't really offer courses on our own. We function more as a network, but the artists who send work to us or who get in contact with us typically hear from word of mouth from other artists within their facility. They sign in a consent form, and we happily house and document all of their art and try to display it and share it with the community and public as much as possible. You know, their skill level and the degree that they've been involved in creating definitely ranges, but one of the best parts of what we do and getting to talk to them throughout the process is getting to see that inspiration and creativity grow. So while we're not directly teaching them, it feels like we're, you know, growing with them.
Okay.
I have one question. Markus Vähälä from Finland, from Kukunori. We are very active also in the art and culture and prisons and people coming out using culture and art. So is there any link with formal education in art and culture and in the action that you are doing? Are you collaborating with some universities or any schools, or and what is the future of people? They're so talented from my perspective, so talented with a lot of skills. So what kind of future lies ahead with these talents?
Do you want to go ahead, Wendy?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So we are, because we're a network, we have a lot of connections with teaching artists who are either part of like a bigger facility or they go in independently and lead art classes. One way that we do collaborate with, you know, universities or outside programs more directly is by creating ArtLinks events or creating more personalized like programming through our partners program with people who are interested in learning how to get it more involved, who are coming from less of an experienced standpoint. Future-wise, I believe that, you know, as we continue to grow, we'll have more workshops. We'll be able to have more in-person shows, which is really exciting. ArtLinks is wonderful, but you know, it's not the same as inviting people to see the art in person and getting to, you know, write letters while they're there staring and experiencing the like essence of the work. But continuing to grow as a network and coming up with different ways to get people within our network involved in leading workshops and grander discussions, I believe is where we're headed. But Wendy can probably speak more about that than I can.
No, that's great. I would also add that in terms of opportunities opening up for the artists in the future and ongoing, we do partner with a lot of other arts and cultural institutions. Oftentimes they are launching exhibitions and they want to feature the work of incarcerated artists or formerly incarcerated artists. And so we help to make pathways in order for that to happen. Most recently, we partnered with the Museum of Modern Art, MoMA, PS1. They launched an exhibition called Marking Time, which was associated with Nicole Fleetwood's book that I mentioned in the chat. So a number of the artists that we work with had pieces featured in that exhibition, which I believe is going to end up being a traveling exhibit over the next couple of years. And so also we've partnered with institutions like PEN America. They have a prison writing program. They have an anthology that comes out every year. And this past year we were their visual art partners. So visual artists in our network were commissioned to do works of art that reflected some of the written pieces that were in the anthology. That was recently published. You can find it on Amazon, I believe. And so a lot of opportunities. And I've seen, so I've been doing this work for about 10 years now, and have seen just over the last couple of years, but especially in the last year, public interest in the work that incarcerated artists are doing grow extensively, and that's in part because of books like Nicole Fleetwood's, because institutions like MoMA are acknowledging the worth and the validity of this creative work, and of the artists as artists who belong in the public sphere, who belong in the art world. And I think as we've seen, like, that tide is really going in the direction we want it to, and I think we'll see that more and more. And the hope is that we see a time come where this isn't just like outsider art, right? Or like, it's not separate. It is part of the art world, and an integral, essential part of the art world from which we have so much to learn.
I have a question. What support do you, besides funding, obviously, that you need, like right now, I guess, with things reopening, et cetera? What kind of support, can we like bring to you, or what support in general that you kind of wish you had that maybe you don't have or seeking?
I'll drop one thing here, and then I'm going to have to jump off because I have to go to a doctor's appointment, unfortunately. And I'll let Maya and Ava both speak to this as well. Obviously, yes, we're always in need of funding. We're still a very bare bones organization, mostly led by volunteers, and so any kind of financial support is very, very welcome and very appreciated. And participation, right? So, for example, with our partner project, there's always a waiting list for incarcerated artists who are waiting to be paired with an artist or an art appreciator on the outside with whom they can share ideas, share artwork, share inspiration. But very specifically, one thing that we are in dire need of and kind of putting out feelers for is physical space in which to archive the artwork. So we have, someone asked how many artists. Yeah, we have almost 400 artists in our network who've some come and go over time. But we have developed, a collection of easily 1,000, probably more pieces of artwork. And we do not have the capacity to have our own like physical space that is conducive to safely storing and archiving that work. So that's something that we're very focused on finding in the DC area. So I would say if anyone has connections to art institutions or academic institutions in the DC area that might take interest, my dream is to create a national archive for this work. And I believe that it is deserving of that. And one benefit of being able to do that is that, every artist would have their artwork cataloged, and if and when they get out of prison, they could then have their portfolio that could help them in their path along the way, right, to becoming a professional artist out in the community. So that physical space is a big, big need right now. And I think the best way to do that would be to partner with an institution that has experience in archiving artwork. And we also need a headquarters for our organization. Right now, we're all working from home. This kitchen and my living room is basically our headquarters. We have a tiny little studio space where we store some of the work. But that's the greatest need right now as we're able to get back out into the world.
I'm very curious about your direct contact with inmates. In my experience, the quote unquote security issues are huge. So are you able to have video chat, Zoom, phone, any personal physical connection? Likely not right now, but how does that work for you guys?
I mean, primarily we do a lot of snail mail or JPay when we can. I can't really speak for when we were more open when it comes to in-person things, but we do regular mail runs and receive many letters every week. Any letter or piece of art that we do receive gets a response. Occasionally there's an artist who has access to a phone, so we can communicate with them through that, or schedule normal phone calls with our artists.
And related supplies, like getting art supplies, is that as complicated as I'm thinking it might be?
Absolutely. It really ranges facility to facility. There are programs through Blick that allow you to send certain materials to specific artists, but especially right now during COVID, where artists are being transferred, the regulation on the materials they have access to really range. And it can be, as limited to a pen to being able to have access to silk screening frames. When it comes to also sending letters from us into the facilities, there's also a lot of strict regulation there. Some artists can't receive colored pencil. So we do have to work around that pretty frequently.
Did you have any success finding my work, Mary?
Yes, I found two. So is it okay if I share Rico's work? We had this kind of art exhibition just to...
Can I first ask something? Because I found the art pieces really interesting, but I would like you to share the presentation because I couldn't read everything and I might want to write a response. Thanks.
I just included a link to the album again, and I invite you to, on your own time, review all of the artwork and write letters if any of the people are moving, or if you had any questions for the artists.
Okay, here is one of Rico's work. I'll share this. Let me see. I couldn't. It's so Rico. You want to say a few words of this?
Yes, this is painting with underground world and uptown world with different things, and in the other underground world there's this discotheque, and up earth there are ancient animals and that's very much what it is about.
Yes.
I mean, if you would be willing to, I think that sending an image of that work to one of the artists who inspired you to share it would, you know, really make their day. I know a lot of our artists are always eager to see the work from the people they're communicating with, or even work on collaborative projects, if that's something that you would be interested in. But thank you for sharing your piece.
Thank you. I will be.
I have one question. It's a personal question to Maya and Ava. What brought you to this work in Justice Arts Coalition? What is your story?
Yeah, sorry, I'm in the airport, so I'm not able to talk much today, but Jack was the first organization that I stumbled across when I was looking for an internship as an art history major that combined my passions for art and social justice. But I think more so, I was drawn to the nature in which Jack approaches our work. We are aware of the profound trust that the artists place in us in sharing their creations and mailing their art to us. And we kind of go through all of our processes with that in mind. And it's something that made me really respectful of the work, but also I knew it was something that I wanted to get involved in. And I've now been, I think this summer will be my third term with Jack. I just won't leave because the connections and relationships that I've created within the network with the artists themselves has just completely shifted my perspective about what art is and what valuable art is, and has made me want to continue to change people's minds about who is out there in the art world creating absolute masterpieces and in connection to that, fighting for their physical freedom.
I think similar to Ava, I stumbled upon Jack while looking for opportunities that would allow me to work with art and making art feel more accessible to viewers and connecting the bonds that are often strained between viewer versus artists and galleries. You know, what really stood out to me and what was kind of a shift was participating in an ArtLinks and you know, getting to see this effort of continuing to share new art with a community that cares. And I think that art is inherently a form of communication, and being able to participate in, you know, working against the like oppressive and censoring realm that is the prison system when it comes to arts is something that's become, and I mean, it was important to me, but it's only become more important to me as I've been able to communicate with the artists and see the work that we've done and the impact that it's had on artists within our network.
Yeah, and kind of just an aside from that, I really urge everyone to spend time with the art and craft responses. Letter writing is really the heart of ArtLinks. Like Maya was saying, art is universal language, and this kind of small micro level program is just a way to build one bridge, even just one if it isn't continued correspondence, and it really has a profound impact on the artists inside. And we always hear from ArtLinks volunteers that it also has a great impact on them as well. So I really urge you to do so. All correspondence goes through me, so you would just be sending me a photo. You don't have to worry about mailing. And then any artist replies will be shared back to you via email. So I really hope you all end up writing as many letters as you would like.
Again, like, thank you all for participating. If you do have any questions about the mailing process, the last 2 slides on the Google album do go through step by step. Ava's email is there if you have more specific questions about like what you can send, how to photograph your work, or if you want to get more involved in Jack. Again,
I do have a quick question. Well, Are you guys collaborating with sort of other entities that are working on things like policies and all of that other stuff?
So now that we are a registered nonprofit, we have begun and been able to talk with other bigger organizations about how we can begin providing those resources on more of a forefront us manner. Prior to the size that we were, it was a little bit harder because we were quite small, and we started out as an off-branch kind of website that just listed resources and tried to get people connected. But as we move forward, that is something that we're beginning to be able to do. And hopefully, it's something that we can continue to do more independently.
Yeah.
And also be able to speak to that.
Yeah, so we actually are in a process of what we're calling a strategic planning, where Jack has grown so exponentially, we have to take a step back and think about what we're doing, what our place is in this overall restorative justice movement. And essentially, while we're not directly connected towards any sort of policy, we are an organization that is working towards restorative justice, but we can't properly call ourselves a restorative justice movement because art is our focus. Our focus is not policy, as much as we all are passionate about it and are involved in it in kind of off-branch ways. We aren't directly involved with kind of legislative efforts, although we will amplify those and share resources, as Maya was saying.
Okay, thank you. Oh, I do have another question. Do you have a lot of women that send in art pieces and offerings?
Yes, so the majority of artists in our network are men, but we do have a number of women who are involved, and we do what we call a gallery of the month every month. And I believe it was February's gallery of the month that was featuring the work of women in Jack. So I will link that in the chat. But we do work and collaborate with women, but the majority are men.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the work.
I just want to extend an additional thank you to Marcus and Jack for being such wonderful hosts and getting us involved in No Labels, No Walls, along with the future Action Mondays and upcoming festivals. It was wonderful to meet all of you guys.
Thank you all, and I look forward to seeing your letters. I will be sending that follow-up email to Marcus and Michael to send out to you all, but feel free to reach out to me at any time. If you need more time with letters, it's not homework, you have time, it'll be okay. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Maya and Ava, and I hope that we keep contacting each other and keep on sharing the action. We would like to see you every Action Monday, so invite all of your friends. So next week we are continuing with a very similar topic. Guided functional peer support is a Finnish model now used in Scandinavia to support people in prisons, outside prisons, and in all sorts of environments. So please join in next week, the same time, the same place. Action never stops with No Labels, No Walls Action Mondays.
Marcus?
And Leila, you have a comment or question?
What is it next Monday?
Next Monday, I hope you are there so we can discuss how to support each other in creating art. For example, you are creating music, singing and playing, how to teach each other in that. So something that BMix does, probably.
Okay, so is that next Monday?
Next Monday, Action Monday. And now, Jack, please, you have to point out the next host for next Monday, please.
Well, my first nominee will be Linda, if she's not double booked again next week. But is that okay? Yeah. Linda was going to be the host today. Scheduling exploded, and so life happens. So Linda will be up for next week, if that's okay. Yes?
My privilege.
Okay. I do want to say to Maya, and Wendy isn't here anymore, but that was very powerful presentation. And having worked around prisons for many, many years, this kind of communication with folks who are incarcerated is very, very powerful and liberating. So a good thing to do, period. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everybody. And please join in No Labels, No Walls Facebook group, like the page, join in Citizen Network, and like the page and join the members group. Remember, every Monday is Citizen Network TV, 1.5 hours prior to this Action Monday. So please join into all the action. Hope to see you all next week and have a wonderful week together. So see you soon. Bye, everybody.